Welcome back into CBS Sports HQ. We are following breaking news here. A major signing about to happen there for the Kansas City Chiefs, landing the top interior lineman on the market. Now, ex-Patriot Joe Thuney. That being confirmed by our NFL insider Jason Locken-Ford. He said straight from the agent's mouth, as I reported, the Chiefs were making a big run at Trent Williams and Joe Thuney, likely to come away with one of them, and now they have him. You can see his profile there. Two-time Super Bowl champ with the Patriots, 2019 second team All-Pro guard, only 3 sacks allowed in 2,033 pass blocking snaps since 2019. Incredible. Welcome back in. Host of the Pick Six podcast, Will Brinson. I expect a podcast on the Patriots moves today. Also, Danny Kanell. But let's talk about this one. Joe Thuney will no longer be a Patriot, instead heading to the Kansas City Chiefs. Danny, your initial reaction to this one?
This is big. I mean, this is a huge one. One of the, I don't know, Brandon Scherff was the other interior offensive lineman that came out with a lot of fanfare. I think Joe Thuney's probably right up there with him. The Chiefs clearly made raised a lot of eyebrows, releasing both their offensive tackles and thinking, hey, we're just going to leave Patrick Mahomes out there exposed to all the pressure in the world. You didn't really think that was going to last an entire offseason. Now they're getting at least the interior, addressing the interior of that offensive line, which I think is really smart. There's a part of me, though, that does wonder, since we were talking about the Patriots in the first block, are you a little bit nervous that the Patriots are willing to let him walk? But as the Patriots way has proven over time, they don't like to buy high. They buy low, which they've done with some of these free agent signings, and they sell high when there is somebody who's a hot commodity, like Joe Thuney is, as one of the most coveted interior offensive linemen in this draft. But when you look at it from the Chiefs' perspective, clearly you want to protect the franchise that is Patrick Mahomes, which they failed to do in the Super Bowl, cost them a Super Bowl title, and they want to make sure that he's around for a long time. So shoring up the middle of that offensive line, I think, was it was a must for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is just when we find out who they were going to do it with.
Well, first of all, if we're going to talk about Joe Thuney, let's make sure we correctly reference him as NC State legend Joe Thuney. He's frankly been dominant since he got drafted by the Patriots. An excellent pick. Was taking one pick next to another NC State legend, Jacoby Brissett. Maybe he'll come back to New England. But look, Thuney hadn't missed a start in his career, is an excellent inside blocker, is able to move quickly and slide and protect. He'll be a perfect fit in that Kansas City offense. They had to get some help on the offensive line. I know people didn't think they had a ton of money to spend, but it was an absolute necessity that they improve the offensive line. Remember, they got blitzkrieged by the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl and then promptly let both of their tackles go with Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz gone. So getting Thuney in there, securing the interior of the offensive line, you're talking about an immediate improvement for the Kansas City Chiefs this offseason. And this is something we've seen Andy Reid do before, where you think, all right, they don't have a bunch of money. And then remember, he went out and spent a ton of money on Sammy Watkins. And I know that deal maybe leaves a little bit of a bad taste in people's mouths because he didn't live up to the contract. But it just shows you that, like Bill Belichick, Andy Reid is not afraid to make a big precision splash early in free agency for an elite player. And that's what they got in Joe Thuney, who should bolster that offensive line out of the gate.
We knew this offensive line was not great heading into the Super Bowl. Danny, you alluded, you even said that this is part of the reason that they lost the Super Bowl there. Now, some of it was because of injury heading into that, but now adding Joe Thuney onto this, getting Patrick Mahomes a little bit more protection, though. But does this line still need even more help?
Yes, I mean, as I mentioned, they need to address the tackle position here as well. They got issues across the board. I mean, we saw that get exposed last year, and a lot of it was injury related. But when you cut both your starting tackles, who are you going to replace them with? You're going to go through the draft, which is not a horrible option, but at both tackles. So I think this team is still going to make some moves in free agency, and maybe you get some more role players in there and combine that with the youth movement in the draft. But they can't go out there and ask Patrick Mahomes to play the role of Superman. As great as he almost was Superman in the Super Bowl when he's running around for 600 yards behind the line of scrimmage, making plays while he's horizontal to the ground, like with falling over and hitting guys in the face mask, and they can't come up with him. He still almost did it. But you don't want to subject Patrick Mahomes to that many hits. They've got to do a better job of getting this position addressed. This is a start but this clearly isn't the finished product for what they're going to roll out there when the season starts in September.
Yeah, I mean, this is a situation where what cost them the Super Bowl was the offensive line, right? And you have to improve it. You know, you're going to get there through the draft. You're going to get there through some lower cost free agency deals. Maybe you'll get there through some trades, but you need to get it started now because there just wasn't anybody on that offensive line. And high caliber offensive linemen are hard to come by in the NFL. It is difficult to get somebody who can plug and play in your system, be a, you know, you're talking about in his prime, Joe Thuney. You're talking about has experience at the highest levels, won multiple Super Bowls, and you're talking about a guy who can come over and start immediately for you and can move around if you need him to a little bit. You know, I would think he plays guard. I suppose he could play tackle. Certainly has experience there, and the Patriots have used him in different spots before, so wouldn't be shocking. That's what you want if you're the Chiefs. Versatile, talented, in your prime. You're willing to go out and spend for somebody like that in free agency. This is a move that makes a ton of sense, and Danny's right. They will continue to supplement it as the offseason wears on.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.